Start with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Teresa, please call the roll.
Okay, Mayor Jones.
Here.
Brenneman.
Here.
Keel.
Here.
Bowen.
Here.
Walsiger.
Here.
Mattson. Here. And Jazz.
Yes.
Hey, we got everybody here.
Yeah.
That's always a good thing. All right, do we have any additions or motion for approval of the agenda?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Do we have a motion to approve the minutes from the November 7th meeting?
Motion to approve. Second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Do we have any motions on bills that are presented to pay?
Motion to approve bills. Freeman.
Second.
Any discussion? I see one thing, Craig, the drag was budgeted for this year,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah, we actually bought it, this spring right away,
Yeah.
so, but they, did not send us a bill on it, so.
No. Yep. Okay.
The billboard, we talked about that earlier. I noticed there's billboard repair in there.
There's that one that we had,
That was damaged.
that got damaged, we had to get fixed, yeah, because they're getting ready to rent it, so.
That was a while ago that it was damaged.
Yeah, through the storm and during show, yeah.
Is there any insurance on a deal like that?
We did turn it in.
Okay.
With FEMA and insurance.
Okay. Anything else? If not, we'll vote. Bowen.
Yes.
Chaz.
Yes.
Keel. Yes. Brenneman.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Wassler.
Yes.
All right. Time for public comment. Anything that's not on the agenda that you'd like to make a comment about, now's the time. Hearing none. We'll move on to hearings, applications, agreements, resolutions, ordinances. Special event permit for Hartford hometown Christmas. Looks like we have some representatives here. In the packet, Teresa, the staff recommends that we approve.
We recommend that too.
You want this place turned to rubble or?
No.
I'd make a motion to approve special event application for Hartford Hometown Christmas.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, we'll vote. Wasslager.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Brenneman.
Yes.
Keel. Yes. Jazz.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
All right, any comments you two want to make?
Thank you. You got your float
Thank you,
plan?
thank you.
You guys have your float?
Cindy's in charge of our float, so you have to ask her.
So it'll be amazing.
And do I get to pick Mayor's Choice winner in the parade? Is that true?
You should be, yeah.
Are you the mayor?
Are you so?
No, but
In the
are we
past.
doing that again this year?
That's up to them.
Are we doing that again? Okay,
Yeah.
you know who's gonna win.
Who's good?
Chairman, is it?
No, that's not the case. We can't win.
Chad in the trailer?
No, seriously, thanks for supporting.
Oh, you bet. Thank you guys for all the work you do. And since Sherry's here, I'll give an extra plug. The optimists did a great job on the flags, and if you want to have an American flag in your yard, see Sherry. She'll get you hooked up.
Thanks, it's nice to see some council members have one.
You bet.
Thanks so much.
I know there was a comment made about getting flags up at the park up here.
Okay, I'm not sure who's in charge.
That's
I
the
know.
American Legion.
Can
That
someone,
is,
Teresa, do you know who's in charge?
It's the Legion.
Okay,
American
yeah.
Legion takes care of it.
Are they gonna need help with that somehow, some way, or maybe we could?
Usually
incorporate-
Okay, usually they've done it all in the
Yeah.
past with the
Yeah, and
membership,
it was
yeah.
very odd that that didn't happen, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not sure why it didn't happen, because usually their members come and do that every
I
year.
just think it must have been a mistake or something.
All right, thank you guys. We'll move on to reports. First up is the Hartford Area Fire and Rescue. Chief Schumacher sends his reports in your packet. Looks like they had a little bit slower month, it looks like. 17 calls. And he will be here again next,
January.
January.
It's the reporter. He was up
Okay.
last week.
all right? Next up, Chamber and Economic Development Director, Amy Farr.
Thank you, my information's in the packet. The only update I would say to bring to attention is the annual business meeting for the chamber next Monday, beginning at 5 with a social, 5:30 for the program, and it'll be held at Great Life Central Valley. Other than that, everything is in the packet.
We went and reshot our commercial for Midco today.
I must have missed my invite for that, or?
You did?
Okay.
I'm afraid you showed up dressed like
I had my outfit on. You would have been dressed like me if you would have showed up.
You did a very nice job.
Yeah. So, Justin, I couldn't make it, so I got to do 2 parts instead of just one, so.
And then Stacy Wangler did
Stacy
the other part.
from Naughty Gnome
Oh,
did.
okay.
Stacy did a really good job,
Mhm.
so. Anyway, any questions for Amy? Anything on the economic development side that,
I have it all in the report at this time.
okay?
Any new businesses joining the chamber or anything going on there?
Not this month, we haven't had one, so there's some potentials out there that have popped up on Hartford Happenings that we'll look into.
All right. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Next up, Michael, City Engineer, ISG.
Good evening, everyone. It'll be a quick one tonight. Since last meeting, we reviewed 3 plats, had a few rounds of reviews for the surveyors, and then I felt ultimately recommend approval on all 3. And then the only project that we have is on the water rec facility. They began pouring the base slab for the treatment basin last week and will continue to do so through this week and I believe the beginning of next. Following that, they'll start on the walls. I anticipate that'll be about 20 weeks until that basin is done. And then the other thing is Siteworks is going to be starting on the force main section, so from the treatment site across the interstate and then to the corner of 465th and Highway 38, where the lift station will be. They're going to start that winter and try to get as far as they can by their permitting. And then I believe, it's a little dark on my way here, but I believe they've started excavating the hole for the lift station as well.
Yep,
So
they were working
we'll start
today.
seeing that
Yep.
moving forward too. Once that's excavated, rest they can come in and start pouring slabs for that.
When do they do the sampling for the core, for the concrete? Do they do that, like how often are they testing out the concrete that's poured?
I would have to look at the specs. I know with each batch of concrete, there's a certain, I believe it's every 200 yards is a set of cores are required to be taken just to test for slump and air content and strength of the concrete. It might be a little different structural wise. That's what the requirement is for streets, curbs, and sidewalks at the very least. So I can get that information for you.
And if there's something wrong with the concrete, then do they pretty much have to rip it out and,
There has to be,
I mean,
that's the most extreme, but then there has to be some sort of agreed upon remedy to it, yes.
okay.
Yep.
Any concern with them pouring when it gets colder?
No, I believe in the specs we have cold weather provisions for that they're required to follow.
All right. Anything else, Michael?
That is all. Is there any more questions?
Any questions for our city engineer? I kind of feel bad we're letting him off the hook.
Don't feel bad.
All right, thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Next up, Craig the deer hunter, Public Works.
Just a couple.
Did you get
things.
one, by the way?
Yep,
Okay, good.
yep. So, that's
We
been
were
nice.
just waiting to find out if you got his too.
You guys deer, he did. The only reason I know that because I called him while he was on his way to go deer. All right.
Just a couple quick things, slurry seal, I got that information you sent over to Michael right now. And at the ponds, we're gonna finish discharging tomorrow, and then we'll have to get the reports ready for Danner after that. And then probably the big topic is going to be the township. After that last meeting, we thought we had everything under control. Very next morning, I got a couple calls from them, and then they basically said they were gonna do their roads and we can do ours, and I asked them, I said, what about the open cut? And they said, no, we don't think we're gonna let you do that either, so. So I'm gonna be at the next meeting, but in the meantime, we're trying to work some things out and see if we can't, what's the best thing for the city, so we'll see what comes.
So with the open cut, I have been in contact with Tom to see if we're on both sides of the road, which we would be on Second Street, where we wanna put that open cut for our utilities. Says, do we have control of that section? And it's Tom's belief that we do. And so he's gonna do a little more research. He has an intern there that's gonna search the laws a little bit more. So this next week I might know some more, but his initial thoughts are on it that as long as we're on both sides of the roadway, we would control that section. So it would be up to us whether we want to open core or bore. So we're trying to get some more information before we talk with the township again.
And that would be probably the best scenarios if we do take over that portion of the road, because we're annexed in on both sides for probably a quarter mile, let's say, maybe roughly. And with those developments there, eventually they're gonna wanna put their plans together, and we'll be able to tell them yes or no on the approaches or the roads coming out to Second Street, where if we don't have control over it, then it's gonna be going to the township and asking if we can put these roads in, so.
Would there be anything monetary, Craig, if we take that over? Do we?
It would be minimal, I mean, a little gravel, mag water, which is probably about $3 a foot right now to mag water that, a running foot, so, I don't know if it's 1,500 feet, $4,500, you know, so.
Where are you talking, Craig?
What's that?
So from Second, that'd be
Yeah,
from,
so by the cemetery up there in Second Street, going past, just about to where Kevin's place used to be, where Gary's bought that now, that chunk this way, except for, I can't think of the guy's name that lives there in the corner.
No, no, you're talking.
Yep.
and that,
So
Bobby
we
Needles
have to
Road,
open
right
that
up.
up?
We would have to maintain that and take care of that, yeah, and then we'd, if we have control over that road, then we can go ahead and dig through it and put that water main in and not spend that extra money for a bore, so.
So the guy that lives right up there by the Colton Road, how would that be right in front of his? Would we take over everything in front of him and everything?
Yeah, we'd just take over that chunk. I mean,
Does that affect
Technically,
him?
we don't have to.
We don't have to,
But
it's
it would be
just so much
easier
easier
to
to
maintain it if we do.
maintain.
Yeah.
So is this still over the assessment,
The fees, maintenance fees, yeah,
the maintenance fees?
yep. Pretty much all it's over,
Which was how much for them, if I remember right?
600.
600.
600, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they basically said that if we would waive that for them, they'd let us go. It's like, I told them, I said, churches pay it, schools pay it, I said, the city pays it. I said, everybody uses it, and I told them that you even got people in the township, farmers are using our roads, so we need this money to help pay for maintenance on our roads. So, but they're, after a couple week, about a week later, or whatever, I did get a call from Greg Boggs. He said there's a chance that he might be able to cut it yet. He said we're still working on it. He's still working on them guys a little bit. So meantime, we're working on other options and seeing what's gonna be, what we can try to get done, so.
You know, keep what I think to myself.
Just out of curiosity, so along the Colton Road, about the trees, so it's a township road, right?
Yeah.
But we have to maintain
So
that?
that is state law.
Okay.
That you have, if it's a maintained road, you are responsible for the mowing, the trees and that stuff. And I asked them, I said, is this maintained road? And they said, yep, it's maintained. I said, okay, we'll get our trees out of there. I expect that to be gravelled all the way to the interstate and the culverts
But if you go up
replaced.
there, there's no gravel there past it.
It's not a maintained road.
It's not a
We're getting
maintained road,
paid
but-
For a maintained road, so I told them, once we get trees out of there, I'll let you know, so you guys can come in and get that road gravelled up and get the culverts replaced, so.
Where's that at?
Going up at the lagoons.
Oh, sure.
On the east side there.
So
All
they're,
right.
they're not playing very well, but.
Yep.
Stick with it and see what we can get done.
All right, keep us informed, Craig.
Yep, that's all I got, unless anybody has anything else for me.
I had a question on the welcome signs.
Okay.
Maybe not these, but the new one we put up on 38, by the interstate.
Okay,
Is there a way to light those at night?
we were just talking about that, Arden looked into that, and when-
Oh, no, it wasn't that one, I was talking the big one out by the interstate.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's, yeah, I think that's the
Oh,
only
the
one.
one,
The big one.
the big one out, coming off the interstate? Yeah, it's about $4,000 to get power to it. And then 50 something a month and for just the fee and then whatever the electricity cost.
And just put some solar in there.
Well, we talked about solar lights too. That's such a great, that's such a great sign. I'm kicking myself that I didn't negotiate that in.
Are we talking the one that's sitting by the hotel and stuff, or?
No, we're talking the one coming off the
On the
interstate.
second
Buffalo Ridge.
exit, yeah,
Okay.
Buffalo Ridge. That big bill, the billboard one we put up, the big one.
Yep, okay.
Wouldn't it be cheaper just to get the state to maintain the lights that they already have there? That would make that sign pretty nicely.
Do they have lights out, or
But always.
Yeah, they're always out.
I can certainly,
Speaking of, the
I
one
can-
by Buffalo, by the brewery's out.
okay. Is that one of the, is it the actual light or the solar one?
It's those fancy lights.
Oh,
Yeah,
we'll have
then-
to talk to downtown Hartford on that, right? 'Cause they-
They, some were too close to the overhead lights, so they won't let it light up because of that, and then we have a couple of them that really don't get a lot of sunlight, so they don't work all the time. They're more of a decorative daytime light than an actual night.
Well, the rest of them are lit up. That one is not.
Yeah.
If we
I
get,
just drove by.
every time we have 50% or more, I figured a plus.
Craig, on the jug, I had to put a shield over the sensor on a couple of my building lights because the city lights are keeping them from turning on.
So the
So there might
sensor,
be a chance to.
yeah, I looked into that, the sensor's all part of the solar part of it.
Oh,
So if you you can't shield it, then you
Because
open
they
your
won't
solar.
take it.
I tore one apart one day trying to see if I could figure a way of getting bypassing this.
Part of the expense on the deal with Sioux Valley is they got more under 38
Oh, wow.
to get the power across. Right, yeah, here's the drawing they sent me. So,
I've got one more question on signs, and then we can move on. I just noticed this today, but on Western Avenue, going south, we have that new sign, that sign kind of in the ditch there.
Okay.
in front of the church.
Yeah, I never realized that, there's only signage on one side as you're coming into town. On the back side of it, it's bare. And once again, it's the first time I've taken notice it'd be,
Yeah, they were only one face sign.
okay.
But it's not that we couldn't at
Sounds
some
like
point
you
look
can
and
have
put
some-
something.
I
on
mean,
the
I
backside.
said,
it looked-
I think you can.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, we can.
Maybe we should blow up that picture of you and I, put it on the back.
Hey, there we go.
Sean and Arden, thank you for visiting.
Come back. Somebody come back, that's
All right,
Okay.
all right. So anyway, any other questions on that? And you're gonna get lights on our signs in town, yes?
They are on.
They're there.
They're on,
Yep.
okay. All right. Thank you. Any other question? Nothing for Craig? All right, Karen.
Yeah, my report's in the packet. At the time I did my report, month end was not done, but Teresa has since finished it, so I provided an updated report on the desk there for you.
And an updated packet in there too. So
Yeah.
you should have the update.
So,
Looks better.
yeah, yeah, it
Month ago.
improved. It improved a lot, so, yeah. But that's about it.
All right. Any questions for Karen?
Do we get like a grant, is it like, we get like a grant every year for the mosquito control stuff, right? What is that about 10 grand a year or something we get, or?
3,600
Yeah,
usually.
3, 4.
Okay.
kind of depends.
We buy that one time a year, like the chemicals one time a year,
Pretty much,
mosquito
yeah.
control? Okay.
It depends on how low we are, so like right now, we purchased what we could this year, so
Okay.
we'll have some to start out the year right away at the beginning of it.
Okay.
All right. Nothing else for Karen. We'll move on to Teresa's report.
Just gonna, couple of updates from my report. I did mention me and Craig did go out and inspect sidewalks in Ward 3, so those letters went out, so if you guys get any calls or if you
Got a
questions.
letter.
I got a letter too, so I did too.
You're not in Ward 3 though.
Yes,
Yeah, she is.
Is
Cindy
she?
is.
Oh, I thought I was in Ward 3.
No, you're two.
you're two.
Okay.
Yeah, you're two.
Couple of years.
You get a couple of years.
Sorry
don't
about
worry. We don't mandate people to repair them, so if they ask about it, they're just courtesy letters letting them know, this is what we see. It kind of keeps us off the hook insurance-wise, that we've done our due diligence to notify the property owners of the defect, so. We are going to go out, again, like we talked about previously, we're going to try to assess kind of the whole city and come up with a plan for you guys of possible, where we think we're missing sidewalks and apply for maybe a sidewalk grant, so that'll be coming here this winter, we'll work on that. The transit bus, like I said, we didn't get any bids, but Craig did get a hold of the Purple Wave, and we do have it on their auction, so they have it online, and what'd you say, the 16th is
16th,
the actual
yeah.
auction date, and it goes out mainly to
It's,
other governments, so
yeah,
hopefully.
it goes
it'll
out to
try-
everybody, but it's on the government auction. So, and they said they get a lot of people that watch that because they're looking for government vehicles because of the maintenance and stuff that's done on them, so they thought we might get fairly decent money for it, so. Good.
And then our open position, correction, that we have received 14 applications out for the chamber versus 10. We got 4 this week. So, it is open till the end of the month. So, once we get those, we'll review them and then decide who we want to move forward with interviews. We'll put, like we talked about, a committee together and hopefully a couple weeks, do some interviews and maybe get somebody hired before the end of the year. So, still no apps for the snow removal though. And then, just the other thing I wanted to add, I did contact after our last meeting, the library and the senior center for updates. The library is gonna come the first meeting in January, and the seniors are gonna come the second meeting in January, so we'll get those on the agenda. Yep, they said, great, we'd love to come give you an update, so. That's about all I have, unless you have questions.
Any questions for Teresa?
Are you seeing a lot of local candidates apply for that, or is it more just?
There's some from Texas and Washington. We do have some local ones. I would say there's probably 6,
Okay.
5, 6 viable that are, yes, in the area and probably qualified or could be,
Okay.
They'll kind of look through them, vet through them, and interview them. We'll know a lot more, but we got some viable candidates in there.
All right. Anything else? Not, we'll move on to old business, review of the new economic development director job description. There's a few changes after the last meeting.
So basically, the changes I made, like we talked about, were, you had brought up about the 2025 capital. I just changed that to, if they do any capital campaigns, now or in the future, they would manage it. And then where I had CEDD, like in the second to last, I changed that to the EDD. So, otherwise, it's basically stayed, it has stayed the same from the last meeting.
And we do understand, we clarified on the ability for the economic development director to sign or act on behalf of the HADF, and we cannot do that.
Yes,
The
yes,
city
so,
attorney told us we cannot do that.
and I did confirm that with Tom.
If we wanted that to happen, we'd have to have a hold harmless signed by all parties, so we would not be responsible. Along that line, I have one additional question. How does that affect the economic development director managing, as it says in here, managing the capital campaign? Is that,
You don't really sign
I don't
anything. You
sign
send
anything
out
for that.
you don't
invoices
sign anything,
and
you're
you
just,
do deposits, yeah, but.
Okay.
The only thing I would sign would be like a letter saying you're running past due or something.
Okay.
But I mean, I can have one of
I'm
them
just
sign it
curious, when I
instead.
was reading through it, I just wanted to make sure. And the other thing, Amy, we talked about business cards and we kind of came up with an idea.
Mhm.
And that's what we're gonna go, economic development director, I think it says.
Well, let me pull it up.
And,
It's on my desk.
If we were gonna have her name, because you sent it to me, have her name, then City of Hartford, and then economic,
or no,
Har-
economic development
Hartford
director,
area,
City of
yeah.
Hartford, and then Hartford Area Development
Yes.
Foundation,
Yes.
right? Is that what we ended up?
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw something in here. I was kinda going through this today, and I was looking at some other descriptions of jobs posted throughout the country. I think the definition, in my opinion, on this is probably not as robust as it should be. So I'll just read it out loud. So the Economic Development Director's goal is to grow the city tax base by recruiting new businesses, attracting more residents, and working with existing businesses on retention and expansion. The EDD will serve as a liaison for Hartford Area Development Foundation. It's not a big thing, but it's just, in comparison to some other job descriptions I was seeing out there, I'm not a big fan of the opening statement of it. Is that this person's goal is to grow the city tax base. Now, obviously, that's a function of the job, but I'm not sure how that, like any other input, maybe I'm just looking too much into it, of the definition, but when I look at that, I'm like, I don't know if I like that's the first thing that's listed. This person's job is to grow the city tax base. I'm not sure that it's fully, and I understand there's other things in there, but it just didn't strike me well if I'm somebody out in the public reading this job description. I could be wrong. I'm open for a discussion on it, or open to cost and discussion on it, but
Do you have any suggestions?
Right. How would you rather see it?
well, sorry about that. So I'll read a couple things that I saw out there, just something we can compare it to. The Economic Development Director is responsible for helping, once again, these are things that I just kind of copy and pasted. But the Economic Development Director is responsible for helping small businesses navigate city development processes and performs professional work involved in the day-to-day management of development and redevelopment projects with varying levels of complexity and investment/reinvestment. An employee in this position will establish and maintain effective working relationships with other city employees, the public, small business owners, chambers of commerce, and other businesses and community organizations. Another one, just to give an example, the position assists the Community and Economic Development Director in all activities focused on enhancing Hartford's economic vitality. This position is responsible for developing and implementing economic development programs for the city with the goal of proactive business retention and attraction, quality job growth, tax base expansion, and marketing. So those are just, it doesn't seem as robust as what it should be in my opinion, but I'm not gonna vote it. I'm not gonna vote no, but it's just something
Yeah.
we should consider.
Take tax base out of there, leave that portion of it.
Yeah, really, if you're being devil's advocate, you could say that the position really wouldn't have to do anything because by default, the city's tax base is gonna grow anyway. I could say, well, I'm doing my job.
Right.
City's tax base is growing.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's the goal. I think the job functions are pretty specific that hit all the same points.
Yeah, you read a few great summaries, actually, and that, I do like those.
But I think at this point, what we have written really takes care of what I hear you, Sean, but everything we want to have accomplished, I think we have in there. You know, we could shuffle the deck and move the words around and still say the same thing. But at the end of the day, we need this person recruiting businesses, attracting more residents, and helping our existing businesses to grow and expand. I mean, really. I mean, I'd say for now, I'm okay that we just, not go for a complete rewrite and leave it the way it is. This can always be reviewed at any time.
Make a motion to approve the EDD job description as presented.
Second.
Any more discussion? If not, we'll vote. Wasslager.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Brenneman.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Jazz.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
All right? And get that finalized. Put the gold stamp on it. New business. Discuss the open liquor license and possible requests for proposals. I'm thinking that's why you guys wanted to come. As you know, the steakhouse slash, what did you call your deal, event barn, has been holding the license on an agreement that we had with the city that lasts until this fall. And we had discussion at the last meeting about what should we do? Should we open this up again? I'm glad you guys are here. If you have ideas or comments, by all means, you guys have been holding this, you're a long-standing business. We hope you're gonna build your deal. We'd sure like to have that happen. Is that right? If you have something you'd like to talk about, just jump on in.
Well, it's.
Come on up here so we can see you on the camera.
I'll let you do the talking.
Oh, boy.
Here we go.
So it's definitely still in the works. I'm sure everybody's aware of the cost situation and just products in general. I mean, they've gone up a lot over the last couple of years, along with rates. So we hit a little bit of a standstill. It's definitely still something we want to do. We're still working we're trying to find different ways to kind of make it more cost effective from our original plan. Like I mentioned with kind of the raise in goods, along with rates and everything. Our initial model, the price kept going up on it. But it's definitely still on our radar. It's definitely something we still want to do. And we definitely would like to still keep the liquor license.
So here's our concern, as the city grows, and we're already getting a contact or two, people looking for an additional liquor license.
Well, I think that was kind of our question. Want me to go there?
Sure, if you like, oh, absolutely, we'd love to have you.
I'll come
both.
join him. Well, I think that was kind of some of our question. Do you have a wait list? I mean, are there inquiries for?
I don't know, we've had
don't
some
have a
inquiries,
wait
but I don't know that we have anybody firm at this
Right.
point.
Sure.
We don't have anybody firm, but we do have some people asking.
Sure.
And we see and know what's going on out here east of town with Maple Pass. They're looking to fill that whole area up in front.
Sure.
So who knows when that could happen, but that definitely is a possibility that we could have somebody contact us.
Are there any other open liquor license not being
This is it, and
utilized?
the only reason we had this one is because when Blue 42
Closed.
went out,
Yeah,
and that's why we did originally put it out for the proposal to
Right.
see if somebody, and we appreciate the fact that you guys, put some money against this deal,
did we buy some time here?
we don't mind that.
Watch 2 years.
What's that? Yeah. Okay, so it goes off census, correct?
Yes,
What's the population need to be before we get another one?
Check that.
That was,
I'll go grab my binder.
Just
4,000?
It's close, 30,
I
yeah,
thought it was 4 or something.
35,
Yeah.
38, something, 45.
Yeah.
So,
35.
you guys are a unique situation, because you can move your liquor license and use a restaurant license at the steakhouse, and everything would be fine. I mean, so, from the city standpoint, and please, if anybody's against me on this, speak up, we feel that we don't wanna hamper another business coming in, you know what I mean? Unless you guys are ready to say, hey, we're gonna start turning dirt, which I don't know that,
right. I mean, we don't have a timeline.
Correct.
obviously.
Right.
So, I mean, what would our options be? Anything? I mean, what would you want from us?
How does the restaurant thing work?
You can, if if so much percentage of your business is table service and selling food, you can have what they call a restaurant license, and we can offer as many of them
Yes.
as meet that criteria.
Yeah.
But to have a straight liquor license, say you're a bar, then you have, or an event center, then you get, right, because they wouldn't be serving enough money in food. Maybe.
Mary, I didn't know if I wanted to work that hard. I didn't know if I
Which
really
probably
wanted
may
to
not
do
have
the food.
table service.
No, okay, so if another restaurant came to town,
Right,
essentially they don't need the full liquor license anyway, because they can also run a restaurant.
You're right, a restaurant
That's true.
wouldn't.
Right.
correct.
Only like you said,
Correct.
a bar
A
would
bar.
come in.
Right.
But like
or-
a sports bar might be,
Might be questionable. If their majority of their business is from
Sure.
booze, then they have to have a straight
Yeah.
liquor license.
Yeah,
Right.
so it just depends.
So if another, yeah, okay, so what was that?
4,000, we have to grow, 4,001.
Where are we at?
35-ish,
30,
35.
33, 54?
So maybe tax gets full over there.
That was,
I guess it goes to
35,
33 population.
Oh, yeah, that's the 20.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
that-
you gotta be at
that's
least
our-
asking
we're
her
like-
about that.
I think last I googled, we're about
I
right
think I have
around
3654
35.
written on my
Okay.
Post-it note in my desk.
Are you concerned about, since you have the regular full liquor license at the restaurant, are you concerned about moving that and just using that for some reason, or?
ideally, do I want to? No, and that was why when this
Yeah.
opened up,
Right,
we put the bid down,
right.
which was the only bid from, or proposal.
Yeah, oh yeah,
from us.
Yeah.
right.
So if I could see if you had a list and people are like trying to get in, and then I could completely understand
Right.
us sitting on this right now. But until that happens,
And part of the reason I'm glad you're here, because part of our discussion tonight was going to be, are we ready as a city to advertise again?
sure,
To put it out there and say, we're taking bids for an open liquor license.
sure.
I think that's the question, because we
Yeah.
might not have anybody, pressing us hard about it. But there may be some businesses that are looking at that and,
Yeah,
if they don't
Or when
have a liquor
business-
license, they won't come.
Yeah, I say, or when a business calls, you say, we don't have any liquor licenses, that might decide whether they come here or
Right.
not.
So that, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like they said, we'd love to have you keep it. On the other hand, it's tax dollars too, for the city, and so is it right from that financial standpoint to
just
leave it sitting?
Right.
For, for
Right.
another
No, I
2
get
years.
that. So basically, it would be a bar, right? Or like, what do you have it again? Is that the same thing as like,
well, they're,
No, it's just that's a
That's
malt
a-
beverage license that you
okay.
gotta have for the casino.
so you
And I
would
don't
need it,
even know what the rules are, if there's any of those available.
yeah,
But I can't serve liquor.
right?
Can't serve
Okay,
it.
so it's not the full.
right.
So
I mean, we're really thinking that it would have to be
a bar,
like a sports bar, something.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, somebody that's not serving, food is not their priority.
Mhm.
Doesn't wait on tables, that couldn't get the restaurant
let's just say that.
license, yeah.
But in this day and age, those are probably fewer and far between, straight bars.
Yeah, distillery doesn't even qualify because they have a separate
They
license
got
for
a separate
distillery.
license for that, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
We'd have
So
to
they
do
can get a
more.
different license, yeah.
yeah. And so to Cindy's point, your argument isn't much different, in my opinion, than Unity Road's argument. We have 3 recreational marijuana licenses available,
Right.
with only 1 being used, maybe we should only issue 1.
Mhm. Mhm.
And from a revenue standpoint, the city's trying to generate revenue. Didn't feel to us that it would hurt your business, but it potentially will help Hartford.
Mhm.
And so
No,
that was,
I get that, I respect that.
So,
I guess I just didn't see the demand there yet, so.
yeah, and we're not sure. And
Right,
again,
right.
we may create the demand by putting it out there.
Mhm.
That's, right? That's really part of the reason that this even came up for a discussion.
Mhm.
Because I think we asked, hey, where we at on this deal? And somebody, oh, wait, this is coming up for, that's why the discussion came
I
up.
mean, not that I'm aware of any plans, but it could be some other type of entertainment
Right.
or that has a light menu where it's not gonna clearly be, you know, the majority of their income. I don't know.
If you get an event
Did you guys
center or
have a
something too.
timeline goal on when to start your
Yeah.
project?
Well, we did propose and we had a timeline on 2023,
Yeah.
right now. But that was.
With all the changes and everything, but nothing new.
We need to sharpen the pencil and make those numbers make more sense right now, but it is definitely our goal, that is what we want to do. With
That price
out
haven't
there.
gone
That we
up.
took all this energy into annexing in.
Yeah,
Have
yeah.
you seen our wastewater treatment facility?
What's that?
Price increases were familiar.
Oh,
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, let's say we put the liquor license out there for someone else to get, hypothetically, would that, would that play a role in you guys not building out there? You know what I mean? I guess my question is, what's the advantage to you guys of holding on to that? Like, obviously you guys paid 10 grand for it 2 years ago.
Right.
But what's the advantage to you guys holding on to it? What is your gain of holding on to that while not using it right now, or if you do decide to use it?
I mean, obviously the value of the Hartford Steakhouse in general, I mean, to have its own, and then the building event barn to have its
Your
own.
own?
Truly. I don't really wanna take it, I was more in the obstacle, I wanted to build this venue, how am I gonna make this work? Went through the annexation, then the open liquor license came available, and I was like, hey, this makes sense.
right.
Now I don't have to steal from,
Yep.
you know,
So how does
here
that
to
work?
pay call.
How does that work if you were to transfer this restaurant license over? I mean, how, would that affect your, negatively impact
They
your
don't
business?
have a restaurant license.
No, they transfer their liquor license
And they have a
out.
regular one.
And then they would get a restaurant license.
Okay.
Right.
Is that a significant cost?
The restaurant license does cost more than the liquor license, cause it goes off of population, so, and. what are we at?
But
They're 3354 versus 1500, so they're
Per year.
Double.
per year.
Per year.
Yeah, so there is a little bit more cost, but as far as serving and everything they can do the same things, you know, serve all the liquor, all malt beverages, whatnot, yeah.
So essentially, anybody could come into Hartford right now, build up and have a restaurant
And serve
license,
liquor
and they
there?
would need that liquor
Correct.
license.
Yeah, if it's a restaurant where they have table service and have at least 60% of their income from non-alcohol sales, they'd qualify for a restaurant license, and those are unlimited, just like the malt beverages, so if they have that, those are available. The only thing it would restrict, just like you were talking, is a bar, sports bar, Craig threw out the golf addiction, you know, someplace that
Right.
isn't gonna have that table service with food.
If I was smarter, I wouldn't have bar, there's more profit margin in
Right.
liquor than food.
Right.
I'm learning that right now.
So, what do you think? Anybody got any comments? I mean, you guys have been such a good supporter of our city, that's,
Yeah, really just an overwhelming feeling that we're not trying to hurt anyone's business.
right.
And we're really trying to enhance the options available to generate revenue to
Right.
Hartford. It really is.
Right,
Yeah.
no, I get that.
That's what's driving this deal,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is there like is there a timeline on making this decision? Like, is there a certain time of year that we can pull the license back in, that we can't pull the license
Right.
back in?
There's just renewal annually, but we generally wouldn't take
But,
a license.
but if we have an
unless
open
there was a
license, you can
reason
do
to.
it, yeah, any time of year, so there's no real timeline on it.
Right. And really, we said that you were supposed to be open late summer, fall, and you could kind of play that number, so technically, we gave you till the end of this year, I would, you know, really wanna look at it from that standpoint.
So I got a question, Teresa, so the license is basically on the bookshelf for them?
It basically is just on hold, yeah, it isn't even filed with the state, it's,
Right.
yeah, basically,
Right, we just-
So if
On
they said they're
hold.
gonna start building tomorrow, then when they build, it's there for them, they et cetera,
And the
right?
paperwork gets sent, when they're ready, the paperwork gets sent, yeah. into them.
So, if somebody calls and asks, is there a liquor license, what's the process?
So up to this point, when I've gotten a call, they said, basically, I've told them they're all delegated. We have one on hold for a project going up, but I've said, you know, by the end of the year, that project either needs to be up and going or it's not, and that'll be the council's decision what we do from there.
So if a business said, well, in this example, I'd say, well, why don't you talk to Amy and tell her your ideas confidentially, what they're thinking, and essentially an RFI, maybe wrong words, but, you know, they call and tell Amy, hey, we're gonna put a sports bar on this piece of land, is what we wanna do, yada, yada. Then I think we could have something to consider of what we need to do with the license, you know, where we could talk to the interested parties, or we could republish it. But at least then, we're at least saying, well, it's on hold for somebody, but first to market might get it. You know, first to build might get it.
It could actually work in your favor depending on your bid. You know, if nobody is interested and wants it, I mean, you could certainly do a similar type of bid to what you did previously too, if you have strong interest in it. And that may be what, I prefer not to like wait around till someone asks, because then I feel like we set people up for a bidding war. You know what I mean? I mean, I feel better about just saying, it's up, you don't have a timeline for using it, we need to put it back out for bid.
Yeah, that could be perceived as it's yours unless something better comes along.
Yeah, I don't feel good about just letting it sit there and then all of a sudden go, hey, we got a better offer, cough up. In the meantime, we don't get any sales revenue.
I might be kind of comfortable with that. Like, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but like, these guys change what they say when they answer the phone. They say, yeah, we got one. And it's available. You know what I mean? But if you guys get going on your project before somebody comes up and claims it, great, it's yours. You know what I mean? I don't know.
How do you even, like, do they have a timeline? Like, how do you know that they're going to?
I think that's
Right,
why we
I'm
should
wondering,
put it out for
can we-
bid.
Can we put contingencies on these things? I mean,
That's what
can
we
we-
did, that's what they did with this one. I mean, I wasn't here when we did it, but that's what
I'm
was
in
agreed.
sales. I'm good with all kinds of great.
I don't like the transparency. I feel like,
Let's make a deal.
you know, it's like it's a secret, so if people know to call and ask,
right.
we got one and we're gonna, at that point, then you don't get a choice because someone else wants it, so we're just gonna take it. Or we start this, well, what do you guys wanna pay for it? What do they, I mean, I feel better about just saying, hey, it's available, give us a sealed bid. Everybody moves on. And maybe you get,
Yeah,
you
theory-
bid and you get it.
So
I guess.
if we, this gives you an, if we do an RFP, this gives you an opportunity to secure it again. Whereas the other option, this just doesn't necessarily
Right.
afford you that same.
That leaves it open for anybody. And we would probably not do this until the first of the year, I would guess, right?
That's all up to you guys.
I mean, I don't know what it matters,
Yeah, well,
just in terms of, like, you're not gonna build before the end of before the first of the year.
start tomorrow. No.
Okay, so if it were back open, so technically we don't own it, is that what you're saying? Right, at all?
Well, once this ends,
What did it?
and this ended,
Yes.
yeah,
We held it for you,
right.
for your proposal, you know, had stated.
You didn't,
Now we're not, it's not on hold anymore.
right. You didn't own, well, you owned the rights to it, let's
Right.
just say
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's what
a
you
good
did.
way to put it.
You didn't own the liquor license until it came time to start pouring liquor, basically.
But normally we renew it annually.
Right,
To the
Right.
the holder.
right.
Right.
But you held the rights, that's right. So for the last 2 years, we've been telling everybody no.
Right.
But,
Right.
okay, and you do have inquiries. I just wasn't sure what the demand
Right.
was on this and how,
And I bet I've had 3 phone calls in the last year. Right.
And that is kind of anecdotal because you can go on the, probably, you know, if someone's looking at coming here, that's probably public information if we have it available.
Yeah.
They
and
say,
mine
oh,
is-
it's not available, so there's, I look at that to me is anecdotal, we've gotten 3 calls, well, is there a potential missed opportunity because it's showing that it's not available publicly? Obviously, we don't know that number, but I'm kind of torn on this because I love your guys' business. Huge fan of the steakhouse, huge fan of you guys, and this is a really tough one because you guys paid has anybody ever paid more than 10 grand for a liquor license?
When we did this one, was the very first time we put a proposal out. We never had any open liquor licenses
Okay.
before. Well, I've been with the city.
I mean, it does have significant value.
Yeah, right.
Just to be clear, we had an agreement for 1 year.
2 years.
Or was
Well,
it 2?
we put the proposal out for 1 year, but when they came with the proposal, said that they wouldn't be up until 23, so we gave them 2 years.
Okay.
And we
So
talked
so-
about that, and we were all good with that,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
for
at
2
this
years.
point, the city, I mean, the agreement's over,
Right.
technically.
You're right.
But for the annual cost of it, they pretty much paid almost for 3 years, right?
That really doesn't,
$1,500.
I thought it was
unfortunately, don't matter.
35.
What I'm trying to get to the bottom is, the agreement's done.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So technically, we have an open license or not?
yes. And so now it's to decide what you wanna do with it, if you wanna.
Well, I think you know, we all want to get the building up.
I
and
know,
running.
but if they
Right.
said, we're gonna build in April, is that license, technically, if Tom was sitting here, would that be theirs or not? Or
No,
would they have to reapply?
this is done, so we don't have to hang on to it at all. It's up to you guys whether you want to hang on to it.
Right.
Give them an extension, or put it up for an RFP, or just hold it until somebody else inquires. It's all,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we have to take action to either extend it, or go to bid, or we have an open
Or
license.
just hold it, yep, yep.
I mean, that's the legalities here, right?
Right, yep, exactly. Those are pretty much your options, yeah. Yeah, extend it, put it on an RFP on it, or just hold it as an open license.
The staff recommendation is to advertise a request
Yeah.
for proposals.
For our discussion at the last meeting.
And if there's multiple proposals, how do we base our, is it based on the most money by the bid?
Usually, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
yeah, okay.
yeah. Highest bid.
We should probably tighten up the terms
Right, yeah, because I don't,
of the license.
Yeah.
If we're gonna do that.
right, if someone's gonna pay 10 grand, but they're not gonna build for 5 years, I'd rather take someone who's gonna pay 5 grand and build in a year.
Well,
So the
What-
proposal states 1 year.
yeah.
When they came with their proposal, and they're gonna propose, we talked with them, and they said they weren't gonna build for 2 years, so basically at that time, the council let them have it for 2 years, yeah.
I'm gonna make a motion that we extend the agreement for 12 more months.
All right, we have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to extend the existing agreement for 1 more year, 12 months, correct?
Do you want it 12 months from this date, or like to the end of 2024? Just to, so we're all
Are
clear.
you asking to have it extended for a year?
Yeah, of course,
And do you see that happening next year?
yes. We're working on it.
Well, I realize that.
Yeah.
I mean, in the same situation on some stuff too,
I mean,
like costs went up,
Life
interest
happens.
rates went up, so I understand.
If you guys were over 70% that you're gonna break next year, I have no problem, no problem holding it for you. if it's gonna get going in 24.
break ground.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I can tell you, I know a place in the adjacent town, I know the time frame. I think they were supposed to open in Labor Day weekend. I don't even know if they're operating yet, but, I mean, it will take a lot of time, but, yeah,
Choose-
we
just wanna
see
see
us
action.
breaking ground
Choose
in
your
2024.
GC carefully.
Say that word, say that
Choose
again.
your GC
General contractor carefully. All
We
right.
know,
Actually, yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second discussion, Cindy?
If we're gonna extend it, I'd like to have something that makes it clear that it's for another year. And
Well,
then we'll
that's
go
why I
through
wanted
this
the
process
motion
again.
clarified. Do we
Not-
want from
not
the
that I-
state or do?
And we're good customers, love your business in town, but I do have trouble with just like knowing it's sitting there and it might prevent another business from coming to town, just from a
Well,
development and tax base and a.
right. No, I get that. So, I mean, we were kind of chuckling, this is, I mean, we were like, well, I mean, should we open up a bar for a year and, generate some, there's nothing available, There's no space available. Everybody else would probably have to build up too. They would be on the same timeline as us, I would presume. That's just my thoughts.
So, no, nothing prevents, if when that phone call comes, inquiring about liquor licenses, to your point, if you're in sales, nothing says that you can't have a discussion. Yes, there's one available, currently kind of reserved, but available. Someone could have a discussion. There's nothing that would prevent them from transferring that to somebody else, right? Or
Yeah, the
or how
owner
is that
of the
liquor
license.
license worded, or what's this legality?
I mean,
Well, that'd be true for any establishment.
This
that
license
does
is
it.
active, like I said, on hold, so it's not filed with the state, so
Right.
they don't
It's-
need to transfer
Right,
it at
right,
all.
right, it's not even
Yes.
filed with the state.
Yeah,
Until it would get filed, then we'd have something that
then
would be
there's a process,
transferable.
a transfer
But,
process.
to your point, where I think, I'll take this one step farther, what you're thinking, when you say make a phone call, there would be nothing that would say that phone call comes in, that we pick up the phone and call these guys. Say, hey, here's what's going on.
Well, we'd have to.
Yeah.
We'd have to,
Mhm.
because if we got to that point and you said, hey, we're not gonna be doing, it's not gonna happen in 24, then we would probably say, okay, we would
We can't
negate
do that
or-
if we agree to let them have it.
But if we could get it, if they then would say, yeah, we would be okay with that, or we would come to some sort of an agreement. Does that make sense? Or am I not making any sense?
Personally, I don't care for that process,
Yeah, I mean,
but
That's why I'm asking to extend it through, okay, how do I do this? Amend my motion? Or what do I gotta say?
Yeah, sure, just amend it.
I'll amend my motion that we extend the agreement through the end of fiscal year 2024. Okay?
Second.
Re-second, okay.
All right, so what that's doing is allowing them time for next year. And if they're confident they're gonna start building in 24, when it comes December, if there's not a building going up substantially, then it's up to the council to say, we give you a grace period. If you're willing to accept that, I think that's fair for us to do that. If it's just move dirt, and it could be a different council too, by next year. So they might have a different opinion, but at least this gives you that chance to get it built into next year if you feel that's a goal. And, if the economy continues to go crazy and you guys just say, we're gonna pull the plug, my request is you just come in and say, you know what, it ain't gonna happen. We're gonna bank on the license being available or transferring our current liquor license out there and doing the restaurant one. You've kinda got the best of both worlds right now, in my opinion. So,
yeah, I mean, you wanna hold on to it because we know it's valuable, right? So having those two licenses is, and it would be, for anyone else to have it as well.
I
That's
think,
why
sorry, I think what I'm concerned about, and I know we're gonna take a vote here, but I just wanna speak my open on this is, I'm concerned about the potential opportunity to lose out on potentially another business if this isn't out there publicly. I'm new to the council, there's a 2-year period. I think I'm worried or concerned about possibly prohibiting a business from coming here. And my reason is that this liquor license, you guys building your building is not contingent upon having this liquor license, because you guys do have a plan B to do that. So I just want to voice, kind of articulate if this comes to a vote, which it will. I just want to be able to explain my reasoning behind that, so.
Well, where do you project your numbers will fall by the end of 2024? Will there be an available potential?
No, we're too far,
No?
we would have to grow significantly.
No.
Maybe in 2 years.
Maybe 2 years.
Three, yeah, right.
All right, any more discussion?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I just got all kinds of thoughts.
Oh, let's hear it, let it go, take off the glasses.
Well,
I think there's the emotional side of what we wanna do, and then
There we
there's
go.
the other side of it.
The salesman in me just never wants to give up, and that's why I say, if somebody calls and asks about a liquor license, they should go to our salesperson who's selling Hartford, which is Amy, all
We
right?
don't have one to sell.
But she can coordinate and say, well, we don't have a straight liquor license available, is that what you're looking for? Are you looking to do just a bar? And he says, no, I wanna do a restaurant. Oh, well, are you aware that then you can open a restaurant and do a restaurant bar with a liquor license?
And that's been part of.
And
And
I don't
then
want
the
to
guy-
scare anyone
the
either, but
says-
what if we get a call about a community center or another event barn wanting to be built? Then what do we do? That's another
Then
option
I'm gonna
that could
start
potentially happen.
negotiating with these guys.
But they're not gonna give that up. I mean, if I'm in their position,
Yeah.
I mean, realistically speaking,
Well,
if
then
I'm
you better
them,
build.
I'm not giving that up. I'm holding on to this, I'm gonna let that event barn go to Crooks or
They
somewhere
got
else.
until these-
Yeah, but then they better, if they're not building, then the contract goes no.
That's my opinion, I would. With that.
All right?
I don't know that business, but I have to assume that if someone's calling and wondering if they have a liquor license, they do know the business, and they know the restaurant route, because
Yeah.
there's a route.
Right.
But who's calling? Do they say who they are? Is it realtors, is it?
Well, I think it's potential
Business.
business owners, yeah, I think it's a business.
I've had 1 or 2 realtors ask, and I don't know if they're the same ones that have called you,
I
so.
don't know, like I said, I've
Yeah,
had 3,
that's just my-
we've had a couple ones that I've
Right.
Talked about.
Let's vote.
Yeah.
All right, we good? Anything else? So read me the motion back, somebody.
The amended motion was to extend the agreement through December 31st, 2024.
Okay. All right, we'll vote. Wasslager,
Yes.
Mattson,
No,
Brenneman,
Yes?
Keel,
No.
Jazz,
Yes.
Bowen.
No,
So what are we?
You're tied.
3 and 3? I'm gonna go yes.
So we've extended it, it means.
that's like the second time we've been in a tie in,
yeah, 2 years.
maybe 2 years, so.
I was just wondering, is that your first time?
Second.
There we go.
Yep.
We're gonna make shit happen in 2024.
There we go.
That would be
That's what we like to hear, yes.
That,
You should have
Thank
said that before the vote.
I don't like to make promises that you don't.
thanks you guys.
Yeah, thanks you guys.
Thanks for coming in.
Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for being a good businessman in Hartford.
Yeah.
Hey, talking about solar lights, somebody come talk to me about that, my sign does not work.
This guy right here.
Come talk to me. I can generate more business down there if my light was on.
Now you're wishing you were a yes vote.
Is this a
Their line
jab?
really is broken.
Is this a jab?
Their line really is
All
broken.
right.
Quick tidbit on how that license came available to begin with. Blue 42 or the old bowling alley.
Yeah.
Oh, that's,
Liquor license through the county
Right.
and then built the building and then annexed into Hartford. Because we didn't have a liquor license available when they built
That's
it.
right.
Yeah, that
That's
was the
what the county
workaround.
did, so we were
Yeah.
kinda ahead.
That was the workaround there.
Yeah. All right, next item up, we have a couple billboards. First one is for a billboard lease between Sunshine Food and the city of Hartford information's in the packet. Staff recommendation is to approve.
Make a motion to approve the billboard lease between Sunshine and the City of Hartford.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Keel.
Yes.
Jazz.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
Brenneman.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Wasslerger.
Yes.
All right, the second one is. Sorry. Second one is billboard lease agreement between Taman Auto and Tire Inc. and the City of Hartford. Again, staff recommendation is to approve.
Make a motion to approve the board lease agreement.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just, I hadn't had a chance to look at these. Are we raising the rates, or these fixed terms, where are we at?
These are the same terms and conditions as previous, it's just a renewal of the same lease under, like I said, same conditions. We're gonna look at our billboard rates towards the end of the year. I have it actually on the agenda for December. We thought we'd start a new rate, if you guys decide to change rates,
Yeah.
January 1st.
Okay,
Is there any billboards available? Because I think I'd like to flip
Um,
these sweet terms.
There is one partial billboard available where the Speedway used to be on, and it's like a third of a sign. I think I have somebody interested in renting that, and then they'll all be rented, so.
Too late, Jeff.
First come,
Proposal
first
on
served.
that, or is it to the end of?
Well, they haven't, they expressed interest and they haven't given me any money, so.
All right, no, too subtle.
Yeah, good
It's not an
say,
agreement
call
to
me
hold a
and
third
we'll
of
get
the
billboard
billboard
rates.
Just digging over here.
oh, man. All right, anything else on this?
I have to, I mean,
All right, we'll vote. Wasslerger.
Yes.
Mattson.
Yes.
Brenneman.
Yeah.
Keel.
Yes.
Jazz.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
All right, that's everything on the agenda. I would assume we need to move to executive session for economic development and personnel. Somebody want to make that motion?
someone,
And a second? Somebody, they both, yeah, second. All in favor, say aye.
Hey.
All right.
Okay.
make a motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Mr. Sal.
Aye.
Aye.